Alright, I just wanted to make another video, just kind of going over two of my dreams that I had remember very specifically, and it's crazy enough just going over it. Like my previous video, I talked a lot about the dreams that I was experiencing, and it's crazy because what a lot of people can't see is that when you do have wicked dreams, they can't necessarily, they can't hurt you. Anything you see can't hurt you. Anything you experience, they can't hurt you. So it's more or less just kind of what you put on yourself, like kind of what I was explaining in my last video. But like for me to go over this right now, like it's nighttime again. I'm going over this. I think it's funny. But I remember this dream was kind of like the dream I kind of want to go over that was honestly really interesting because I specifically remember so much of it. This light don't work. This was my room, and obviously the house is dirty because it's about to be renovated. And so there's the front. This is the house I grew up in. This is my room, right? My bed was straight like this, and I had my TV right here, and there's my window, and here's my bathroom. So I remember specifically about this dream was it was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday. I remember I woke up Saturday morning. I woke up and it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up to my dad. He came in my room. He's like, "Hey, Mijo, I'm gonna work late today." And so I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." So that's pretty much what woke me up. It was Saturday morning. I woke up at 8 in the morning. My dad woke me up, and then he left. And keep in mind, like when the sun comes up, light comes through here. Even whenever I had curtains, and it still came through here, and it lit up my whole room. So keep in mind, I woke up, and for me to fall back asleep when it's already daylight, like it was kind of difficult. Well, anyways, like I said, it was 8 in the morning. My dad woke me up. I fell back asleep. Well, I fell back asleep, and my dream started. I was specifically, let's see. Okay, so my dream started. My dream started with me right here in my garage, and it was daytime, by the way, not nighttime. I was going up to this door, and I'm not even joking, it was pitch black. Like, you could not see in any of this. Like, it was pitch black. Like, even like this, even cupping your hands, like, it was pitch black. You could not see, like, someone had spray painted the windows. And I remember, I looked in there, and I was like, I need to go in there and get something. And something kept pushing me, like, go in there. Like, you need that. This is your house. Like, what are you doing? Like, why don't you want to go in there? And I remember there was this fear that was like lingering because I couldn't get myself to go in there. Well, I eventually got mad, and he was like, "You know what? I'm going in there." And so I opened the door, and as soon as I walk in here, everything is like dark, like black, like ambient or ambiance. I don't know how you say it, but whatever. But everything was black, and the outlines of everything was like a light or a dark purple. And I remember just walking in here, and there was a couch right here. I remember just walking in here acting like everything was normal. And I had a shelf right here, and there was a book, which I'm pretty sure was a Bible that I was wanting. And I remember walking in here, and I saw it, and I was gonna grab it and leave. Well, I remember when I saw it, I look, and my bathroom looked just like this. It looked just like that with the light on. And since the whole house was black, like that stood out to me. So I I go to the bathroom and I open the door, and there's this man sitting on the floor right here, and he looks up at me, and he had a block or something right here, and he grabs it, and he looks at me, and he pushes it through the floor. And once I had seen him push it through the floor, like I was like, what's going on? And once I had seen him do that, this man stood up, and he was taller than the door frame. And once I had seen him all the way past that, all the anger that I had in my body, it just left. And all that fear was there. And I remember whenever all that anger all the anger left my body, I was like, I need to get out of here. So I remember I just looked, I walked, I grabbed my Bible, and I was walking. From this point on, I'm walking, and I hear speaking in tongues, a super deep, like demonic voice, right behind my neck. The whole way that I walk, and it was pitch black, like everything's still black in here. And I remember as soon as I walked out right here, and the door slammed. And I remember it was like daytime, like everything was normal, like I said. And I'm gonna tell you how specific, like, it's so weird to. I got in this truck, and I went around the block, and there's a stop sign right here. I stopped at that stop sign, and I remember seeing people running, and I remember seeing everything look normal. I got out of this truck, and I remember seeing the sky, like a wave of just darkness just come over. And the house over there with the stop sign, I started running, and I ran in the yard, and it was a rock yard. I was running in the yard, and I tripped on a rock, and as soon as I hit the ground, I woke up from my dream, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. So from all that happening, I had that dream within an hour. The time my dad woke me up, it was 8 in the morning, and it was sunlight outside. Like this was not even scared. There's nothing to be scared of, like I said, in my house, other than that fear I was talking about in my last video. And this dream, literally, like, I remember exactly everything. And I remember I woke up whenever I fell in my dream, and it was 9 in the morning, and I was just like, I was freaked out. Like, I didn't know what to do, obviously. So, I mean, that's one of the dreams that I vividly remember. And another dream that it's kind of short. I mean, it's really short, honestly. I had went to sleep, and I couldn't sleep, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I finally went to bed, and I was in my house. I was in this house, and I remember all the lights were turned off. And I remember going to this window and looking outside, and there was two like young people standing right here, and they were laughing and being like really loud. Well, I remember, I'm just going, and I'm like, that's odd. So I go out my front door, and as soon as I open this door, there's a car that just comes right in the front of my house, like in front of the street, and it turns in going super fast. And I go outside, and this car stops right in front of my house, like screeching, like pulls in super fast. And I remember by this time seeing this, I'm walking in fear, and I'm right here in front of my house, and I see this black figure get out of the car, and it just starts chopping towards me. And it has a knife that's as long as my forearm. And I remember seeing that, and like it was all like in one motion. Like I remember seeing it get out with a knife, And it was all one motion when it got out, and it just started running super fast. And I remember I just started running too, and I ran all the way from the side of my house through the side fence, and I jumped there's like plywood and everything that my dad had right here. I jumped all through over that, and by the time I got to my driveway, I woke up, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I remember, this is wild. I remember in my dream, I woke up and I didn't even know that it was a dream. Like, I woke up freaked out because it felt so real that I was scared. Like, I felt like something was in my room. And something probably was, honestly, but that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to even talk about specifically so much of like what I can remember. And I remember being in my room. I remember seeing all the times I had sleep paralysis. It would be right there. My bed right here. I'm laying down. That figure will be right here. Right here. Just all the way to the top. I remember waking up one morning and it was daytime, like it was in the morning. I remember seeing a black figure, like I imagine like as if someone's on all fours. I remember like laying down, you see the edge of your bed. I remember seeing a black, like pitch black, like an opaque figure. Like nothing was wrong with my eyes. I didn't have nothing in my eye. Even if I did, it would have looked squint. I would have, like, I'm talking about black, like a straight, like something was right here. And I remember I saw that and I got up real quick. I dropped my phone. I looked under my bed. My dad wasn't home, and it was daytime. Like no scary setting whatsoever. I remember I got up. I looked under my bed. I looked in my dad's room, under his bed, in his bathroom. I looked in both my closets. I was mad. I was like, something's in here. I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to kill it. Like, what's in here? And someone was in my house, and I looked everywhere, and there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. And I remember after that, I remember calling my mom, and she was just like freaking out because, I mean, this was happening like every so often, every other week. But that's a crazy thing about these dreams. When you open the doors to it, they torment you. So all they do is play with you. They feed off of your fear. They can't physically hurt you unless if you let them. Unless if you open the door. Unless if you tell them. Unless if you mock them. And like, oh man, it's crazy. I remember there's so much bad stuff has happened in this house. It's crazy. I remember whenever they say whenever I've heard a lot, like if bad stuff happens like in an area, I mean it really leaves like bad spirits, I guess you could say. I mean, it just kind of depends. I remember I had my Xbox set up right here. And I remember whenever I was in middle school, I was playing Xbox, and my brother came home, and he was selling drugs. I remember he would have a scale hidden in here, and I just remember him coming home with different people and with a lot of drugs. And I remember one time he came home, and he came home with these two huge dudes, man. Like I'm talking about, like me in sixth grade, like I play football, but like I'm still like all small. I'm talking about these two dudes like were junior varsity, like big dudes. And I remember they both went in my brother's room, and I remember my brother came out, and he was gonna take a shower, and I remember he was taking a shower, and I remember I had my Xbox right here, and I was looking. I remember I saw both of them walk out, go all the way around. And I'm sitting right here. This was my dad's room. I remember I saw both of them go in here, and I got scared because one of them came right here and was just kind of looking at me, and he just like was giving me like he was giving me a look like as if like this man was gonna beat like jump me, like beat me up, man. It's crazy, like this stuff, man. This is funny, bro. Like the stuff that I had seen, like the stuff that I ain't never told nobody, the stuff that I barely tell people. It's wild, but it's funny. Yeah, I remember this guy was watching my dad's door, and he was making sure I didn't say nothing, do nothing, and I think they stole some of my dad's guns or something. They took something. My dad found out, and he got pissed, and it's crazy, like crazy to think like you, like that. Like I experienced that, like that kind of fear in my own home. Like this is where I grew up. Like it's crazy to even think like that. But yeah, there's a lot of my dreams. I mean, they're most of them, the ones I remember specifically. I think I remember them specifically for a purpose, and I think it's for the purpose of me to have that fear for God. And it's crazy, like talking about. I remember one time I came home, and this is whenever I barely started drinking, going partying, and all that. I think it was like my freshman year. I remember I came home. It was like 10 o'clock, and I was tired. I was hanging out with my friend. I was tired. I didn't want to go out and drink. So I go in my room. I take a shower. I remember it was like 11 o'clock. And I remember I got out of the shower. I go out like over here. You know, I'm on my phone, obviously. And I remember I go in my kitchen, and I get some chocolate milk. And I was standing right here. I remember I was standing right here drinking my chocolate milk, and out of nowhere, there was just this like there was a fear that I cannot even describe that was so heavy that I've never felt in person before, and it was coming from right here. And this was like these lights weren't on, so it was kind of just dark. The kitchen light was only light on, and I remember drinking my chocolate milk. And I remember feeling something right here, like in this hallway kind of thing. And it was just like all the lights were off, and I felt like as if something super black, like just a dark presence was right here. And like it's crazy. It's crazy because I didn't want to go out and drink that night, and I didn't want to go out and smoke that night. Go get all go do anything. I just wanted to rest. And that fear, like the enemy, he tormented me so much that I was so scared. I went in my room and I changed. I hit up 3 of my friends. Hey, bro, I got money. Let's go buy a 30. Let's go drink. And I left. I went to go drink. I came home at 3 o'clock in the morning drunk, and that was the only way I was able to sleep. Going through all this. I remember another time. I remember I came home, and I think it was on Friday. I remember I called my dad, or no, I didn't call my dad. I came home, and it was like 9 o'clock, and it was on a Friday. And I remember I was looking out my backyard, just looking, and the living room TV turned on by itself. And like I remember just turning around and not trying to just act like it didn't happen. And it only lasted a couple seconds where I called my dad and I'm like, hey, are you on your way home, or are you still out of town or whatever? And he's like, I'm on my way home. And I told him what happened, and he just kind of was like, oh, I mean, he was like, no, I mean, I guess I'll be home. I'll be home in a little bit. It's all right. It just kind of looked over, but no, this is real. It's funny because it sounds so crazy. It sounds so crazy. But this is I can't not forget this. This is just something. It's so interesting to me. It's so interesting to me to be able to share this, like I said, before, and not to be scared of it. I got delivered from this. It's crazy. But so specifically, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to share, just so it's not kind of biased or bland. I mean, whenever I mention it to someone, because specifically like in person. Especially, I think it's more interesting if people like, you know who I am. I mean, I think it highlights, my testimony, like just my life growing up. I mean, not all of it, but just kind of the part where I was started living for God and I wanted to, see like the truth. But yeah, man, like that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. It's pretty interesting. It's super late again, like last time, but all right, that's pretty much all what I wanted to go over. So I appreciate the watch. Thanks for watching.